and we are back at Camp Girardi. And one of the things that we like to talk about on the Untold Civil War podcast are Civil War images, Civil War portrait photography. And we actually have a really nice collection to talk about, which is in the care of Detective Girardi. So I would love for you to share this collection with us.
Right, well, I am not an image guy, and I was never able to get the pristine images of the kind that I like, but I found things that resonated with me for one reason or another. First of all, when you read the soldiers' letters and diaries, you always hear them referencing, I sent my likeness to you, or I sent my image to you, and usually they're talking about carte de visites, CDVs, paper images. But some of the soldiers who had the means and the wherewithal could get the hard images. Now, this is a collection of mostly officers and engineers and things like that, people that I'm interested in. But in my writing, one of the reasons why I got along so well with the artist Keith Rocco is we both like to look at the war through the eyes of the men who fought it, not just necessarily the leaders, but the grunts, the men, the people that fought. And when you have a soldier's letters and diaries, you get to know that person to some extent. And these are young kids, and this is going to be the significant event of the 19th century. That said, when you can see them and the way that they pose and the things that they do, it's compelling. So I started out, again, not an image collector per se, but I still have a collection of images because nothing in life makes sense, especially not if your last name is Girardi. And so over the years, I've acquired some images, and they're just, I like images that show something not necessarily unique, but that shows you who this person is a little bit. Here we have a little one of a young lad, and none of these are identified, unfortunately. Here's a guy, he's with the stogie stuffed in his mouth, holding his hat, and just looking like, okay, now what? and images like that, I like, this is somebody I would like to know. This is a guy that you're going to have fun with. And then you've got the little more serious type, and this is one of the images I have that actually has arms involved. A soldier standing there with his bayonet.
And is that a greatcoat draped over?
I think it's the greatcoat's draped over the back of the chair, and he's wearing a frock coat and kepi. But that's just like it's obviously a studio shot. But here's a guy that means business. So that personal end looks good. Plus, it's a nice, clear image.
How long have you been collecting?
I think I got my first. Actually, you accompanied me yesterday to the Civil War show, and I actually got my first. I always wanted one of these types of images. I never had one, but to have a photograph of somebody that was there, not just to read about him in a book, but this boy was there, and so to have one was important to me. And this is the very first one that I ever got. Again, it's unfortunate that he's not identified, but this one is tinted a little bit. His pants, you can see, it's a nice clear case, coming apart at the seams a little bit, but this was my first. Again, for the kinds of things I do, I like to see through their eyes, to walk around in their minds and see what they were thinking and find out what was important. But I want to look them in the eye too, and this is a way that you can do that. Sounds cheesy, but so am I. What I really like are photographs of groups, parts. So here's a nice one, a 9th plate of 3 guys standing, just jaunty looking. They're serious about what they're doing. This might be the last time they're together. Who knows? But it's a good little photograph of a trio of friends.
And I think if we move over to this next case here, you actually have several PARD images.
Like I said, the group shots, for whatever reason, I like to see, you know, this isn't just one guy. This is a group of friends, right? There's camaraderie here. There's kinship. There's maybe family ties.
Getting a little bit of the glare. There you go.
You want me to tell me?
Oh, that's perfect.
All right. So these guys, and this is a nice sized plate on this one. So again, it's a good image of 4 friends, or maybe they only had a quarter of the money for
And are
the
they
shot
wearing
each.
they're wearing sack coats in there?
Yeah, it looks like yeah, they're all wearing sack coats. One guy's got a kepi on. I don't see any like unit designators or corps badges or something that could give a hint to their identities. And they didn't have photo recognition technology back then, officer. So I guess we're stuck with what we got. Anybody know this guy? Maybe we'll put it up in the post office.
Be on the lookout.
This is one of my favorites. There's 5 guys in this photo, and this to me is Civil War soldiers at their best. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Here's 5 guys, and they have a little bit of Obi Joyful with them, and they are having a good time.
Some red eye, huh?
Yep, hair of the dog. And there, this guy here on the lower right looks like he may have been overserved, but the rest of them are just having a good time. And this is one of my favorite photographs. I wish I knew who these guys were. Then we have this trio. Look at the guy in the center. Okay. And that's kind of what I like, just that attitude. You know, they were having fun. This is an event to take this likeness and to send it to somebody near and dear. And you can see that. This guy here on the right with the cigar in his mouth, he kind of looks like, you know, okay, get the camera out of my face, all right? I don't want to be on camera. That never happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Again, this one is tinted with the gilt buttons. This guy here is looks like some cross sabers up on his kepi. He's got a pocket watch. Again, hand on the shoulder. They're either brothers or friends. This is going to be something that they want to keep. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got these 2 guys. Now look at that. These are 2 dapper dudes. I would really, really, really like to party with them. Like, now, look at me.
When you look at this, would these be officers? Would this be enlisted? What were we looking at?
I believe that I don't see any straps or epaulets or anything. I think these are just guys wearing privates or infantry anyway. Maybe they're officers, but I don't see any insignia that would be like a rank designator or anything like that. Again, I'm not an image guy, so I don't have the expertise of some of the greats, but I don't like the picture. I like the pictures for what they depict, not necessarily for some more, in photographs anyway, scholarly thing. In other areas, I prefer to be more scholarly, but in this, I go with what looks good to me and what I can afford. But this one here is another one of those rollicking pictures. These 2 guys are puffing away on their pipes, and they're just gonna have a good time. Probably defying something. Look, Ma, you can't stop me from smoking my pipe now.
I was going to say, you think that's the picture they would send back to Mom, or is that the one they just kept for themselves?
Yeah, this is the one they keep for themselves, or send maybe to their brother. Come on and
come join the
have
Army.
a good time. Join the Army. So these are just a few. I have some others elsewhere. These 2 guys look like they've been through it. The guy on the left needs a sandwich, and the one that's sitting down needs some R&R. And I don't mean to make light of it, but this shows you the diverse nature of these guys, and some of them are somber and serious, and some of them are just happy-go-lucky.
Well, one of the things we were talking about earlier is talking about the term collector. Okay, we may be by definition collectors, but one of the terms I hear said is caretaker.
Well, and that's I think that's something. I have a collection of Civil War artifacts, photographs, and things of that nature. I don't consider that I own these things. I consider that I am a custodian of them. And some of the artifacts that I have in my collection, I acquired from another friend who was passing them along so that I could take care of them. And at some point in time, I'm going to pass them along to somebody to keep them going. Many times, items in a museum are inaccessible. They're behind glass or they're in storage and you never get to see them. I like my artifacts to be accessible so I can reach in and show you, wherever and whoever you are, some artifacts, like an original piece of hardtack. We've all seen it. And I have some reenactors hardtack in here, and it seems to be bigger and thicker than the actual, especially if the representative is this. Now, I know which one I'd rather eat, but I just think that when you say hardtack, you can't just limit it to one thing. And the artifacts and the photographs show the diversity of character, of style, of uniform, of equipment, of food that these soldiers that we love to study had. And it's not always, no two are the same. And so that tells you something about it. But I like to have hands-on, being able to see these things, but not to, like my library, not to just have it, but to share it, to make it available to everybody else. What is the point of the knowledge and the artifacts if nobody knows or can learn or get some kind of benefit? And I don't mean monetarily from having these things. So
Well, this is a beautiful collection. I see you have, what is this interesting piece up here?
This, I bought, you asked me off camera why I bought some of these things. And again, some people collect a certain regiment. And I do that, but again, photographs are a specialty that I don't know enough about to pretend any expertise. But I will buy some of them because I like them or because of what they're depicting. I bought this one because of the case. This is a really neat case, a 5th Corps Army badge. I've been doing some work with General Warren of the 5th Corps, and this is a direct link to men that he commanded. And when you open it up, here are 2 images of men. I don't know what regiment this is. There's no indicator of it. The one soldier on the left is in uniform. The one on the right is in civilian dress. They're in here for a reason. I would like to know what that was, but what I do know is that these men were in the 5th Army Corps, and that's something that it was of interest to me at the present time. I like to collect things that relate to projects I'm working on. So whether it's railroads or engineers or the 5th Corps and General Warren or other projects that, from a go, or things that I'm still planning, that's what gears my collection. And I like things to tell a story. And then, when the time comes, I will pass that story along. But rather than give up one individual letter, I would rather have a collection, because that's a story. One is a thing, a grouping is a streamline of history.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this collection with us, and I really appreciate it. I gotta say, we gotta have you back on to share these stories and share more of your collection, because we're only just tapping the surface here.
Well, I appreciate it anytime. I'm just wondering if you keep telling these untold stories, if you're not putting yourself out of business.
Well, there's
always
always
tell
more.
the untold story, it's no longer untold.
That's true, but it always seems to be more stories. So,
thank God.
Yeah, it keeps us working. But thanks for telling some of these untold stories, sharing some of this collection of yours, and hey, to everyone else who's thinking about becoming a caretaker, look at how much joy it brings us to be able to hold and preserve history. I recommend it to anyone. Thank you again, and if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you tune in for the next episode.